Hey tamers. In a quiet little town of Oyo lives Kurtz, an ordinary guy who works in construction. He has a normal life with his wife Samantha and his little daughter, Anna, who is deaf. Everything seems in order. United family, stable job. But one day Kurt starts having some very strange visions. First he sees a strange rain falling from the sky, a thick yellowish rain, almost like oil. He even feels it on his skin. This makes him angry, but he tries to ignore it, thinking it's just tiredness or stress. But things get worse. CS starts having horrible nightmares, almost too real. In these dreams, a gigantic apocalyptic storm is coming. Birds act strangely and menacingly, forming bizarre patterns in the sky. Fear begins to invade his real life. During the day, he starts seeing and hearing things. The same threatening birds, the noise of thunder, even with clear skies, that feeling of oily rain, filled with a growing fear that these visions are real premonitions of an impending disaster. Kurt acts strangely. He is obsessed with the idea of protecting his family. First he adopts a dog. Even though Samantha didn't like the idea very much, she thought the dog could alert them to some danger. Then he decides they need a safe place and begins renovating and expanding an old storm shelter he's in his backyard. But that's expensive and he doesn't have all that money. Kurt's obsession with shelter almost becomes paranoia. He starts spending all the family's money on renovations. Buy expensive materials, install air filters, stock up on food and water. Samantha starts to get seriously worried. She sees her husband becoming increasingly distant, anxious, almost consumed by this irrational fear. Their relationship begins to become strained. Kurt's best friend and co-worker, Divanir, also notices the change. Kurtz is different, but quiet at work. Sometimes he seems lost in dark thoughts. To make matters worse, Kurtz takes out a risky bank loan with high interest rates to continue working on the shelter and doesn't stop there. Desperate to finish quickly, he begins using heavy equipment from the construction company where he works without losing permission, taking everything to his backyard. During the night, Divanir tries to talk, warn about the risk, but CT's is too focused on his mission to protect his family. Meanwhile, Kurtz carries a personal burden. His mother suffers from paranoid schizophrenia and was institutionalized at about the age he is now. The fear of inheriting the mother's disease is terrifying. He secretly goes to a doctor and then to a therapist, seeking answers, trying to understand whether what he is experiencing are symptoms of mental illness or real premonitions. The uncertainty consumes him even more. At home, the tension with Samantha only increases. She wants him to stop the shelter madness and focus on the health and well-being of the family, especially since Anna's about to have a very important surgery that could help her here. One day, the dog Kurtz adopted unexpectedly attacks him, biting his arm. This only reinforces his fears, as if even the animals are sensing the approaching threat. He ends up having to get rid of the dog, which makes him even more distraught. The final straw for his reputation and his job comes at a community dinner. In the middle of the event, Cortez has an outburst. He gets up, starts yelling at all his relatives, desperately talking about the storm that is coming, that no one is prepared, and everyone will suffer. He accuses people of being blind to danger. The scene is shocking. Everyone is embarrassed and scared. With his attitude, the result is devastating. He is fired from his job the next day, not only for the scene, but also because they discovered he used company equipment without authorization. Losing her job also means losing her health insurance, just when Anna needs it most for her surgery. Desperate, Samantha confronts Kurtz. She demands that he choose: either he seeks serious psychiatric help and stops this obsession, or she takes Anna and leaves. Cornered and finally opening up, Kurt, in detail, about the visions, the nightmares, the overwhelming fear of the storm, and the cruel doubt about his own sanity. Samantha is shocked, but also moved by her husband's suffering. She decides to stay and support him, but on the condition that he seeks real help and that they can face this together. Shortly after, Ariel's strong storm begins to form in the region. The sky darkens, the wind picks up, warning sirens begin to sound. For Kurt, it is confirmation of his worst fears. He goes into a complete panic and insists that the entire family immediately go to the shelter he built. Samantha hesitates. She is more afraid of Kurt's mental state than the storm outside. But it comes from his desperation, and perhaps because of a small doubt that arises in her. She agrees. The three descend into the cramped, dark bunker. Inside, the tension is at its highest. The noise of the storm outside is deafening. Kurtz is completely terrified, certain that this is the end of the world he predicted. He puts cool masks on Samantha and Anna. He checks the locks from side to side. Almost in a nervous breakdown, Samantha tries to calm him down and keep her daughter calm, but the situation is frightening. After what seems like an eternity, the storm begins to subside. The noise outside quiets down. Samantha says he needs to go out and see what happened. Kurtz resists fiercely. He's afraid of what they'll find, fear that your visions have come true. Samantha challenges him. She tells him he needs to open the door, that he needs to face reality, whatever it is, with shaking hands. Kurtz finally unlocks and opens the heavy door to the shelter. What they see is normality. Thiessen is coming out. The sky is blue. Yes, the storm was strong, broken handles, some loose roof tiles, but nothing even close to the apocalyptic destruction Kurtz imagined. The world did not end. The neighbors are cleaning their yards. It seems Kurtz was wrong. The relief is immense. But for Kurtusau, the shame is also immense. Life tries to get back on track. Kurtz begins attending therapy regularly and takes medication. He seems calmer, accepting that perhaps it was all the result of his anxiety and fear of getting sick like his mother. Samantha, relieved, uses the money she had saved, which would have been for the shelter or emergencies, to take the family on vacation to the beach. They need this time together. It gave a new beginning. Anna finally has her implant surgery and begins to experience the sounds of the world for the first time. A moment of pure joy for the family. On the beach, everything finally seems to be okay. The sun is shining, the family is relaxed, playing in the sand near the sea. Kurtantha watches Anna happily. Suddenly, Anna, who can now hear, is learning to speak and uses sign language, looks out at the ocean and makes the storm signal. Follow your daughter's eye. There on the horizon over the sea, a formation of dark and threatening clouds begins to appear. Clouds identical to the ones in his visions, with that strange color loaded with the promise of foily rain. Kurtz's heart races. He looks at Samantha, and terror takes hold of him when he realizes that she is watching too. She looks up at the clouds, then back down, and on her face there is no doubt, just the same understanding and the same deep fear he has felt for so long.